Shabbat Yama, brothers and sisters, Hebrews in Jamaica, the Caribbeans, the West, to the four corners of the earth, scattered greetings. This is Shabbat lesson. We're going to title it, Yacov'S ladder. What does it mean, brothers and sisters? Jacob's ladder, what does it mean? Right? When Jacob was a young man, he had a usual dream during his troubled times. He dreamt of a ladder with angels ascending and descending on it. The Hebrew word that was used for ladder in the passage was salam. Interesting, salam was no longer used throughout the scriptures. Could there be a deeper meaning behind it? Brothers and sisters, let's look at that, brothers and sisters. Jacob's ladder, Genesis 28, as it tells of Jacob's escape from the fury of his twin brother Esau. Jacob deceived their father Isaac and acquired a blessing that was supposed to be for the firstborn. Knowing of Esau's anger, their mother Rebekah sent Jacob on a journey to flee from his brother. During his trip, he stopped for a night and slept there. Then he dreamt of a ladder with its end reaching heaven. Angels were ascending and descending on it. Above the ladder stood the Adonai, and he revealed himself and his promise to Yacov. He woke up afterward and called this place Bethel. Right, brothers and sisters? So the Hebrew word Solam, it is original translation. The ladder ascribing to Jacob's dream is the Hebrew word Salam. The word Salam appears nowhere else in the Bible since there are other Hebrew words for ladder. Salam must mean something different. Salam is spelled in ancient Hebrew with the letters Samek, Lam, and Mem. And these three Hebrew words are alphabet. You could find them also in Psalms 119, brothers and sisters. Right? So, Salam is spelled in ancient Hebrew with the letters Samek, Lam, and Mem. Samek has a picture meaning of supporting and assisting. Lam has a picture of a staff, which means having authority or the voice of authority, while Mem is a picture of liquid. It refers to the living waters or the word of Eliyahu that brings life. The photographs indicate that some is being supported by the amazing ladder, and these are the angels that brought the message of blessing to Yacov, that Eliyahu is always near. Salam is the instrument that gave the refreshing message to Yacov. Moreover, there is a powerful revelation in the book of John that parallels Yacov's dream. Yahusha said in John 1:15. Let's look at that, brothers and sisters. Okay, brothers and sisters, take a look at the screen. We're going to take it from Yohachanan, John 1. I said I was going to start at 15, but we're going to go a bit further up, brothers and sisters. We're going to start from 12 to 15, right? So that's John 1, 12 to 15. But as many as received him, to them he gave the right to become the children of Eliyahu, to those who believe in his name, who were born not of blood, nor of the will of the flesh, nor of the will of man, but of Eliyahu. So his name, his true Hebrew name is Yahusha. You understand, brothers and sisters? Many of you are familiar with this name, Jesus, right? But the Most High said in the scripture that he will wink on the ignorance of his people. You understand? Many of you were in your religion, specifically Christianity, right? You tend to use that name, but that's not his name. He was in ignorance for a while. But it's time for you to come to his true name, because the Most High are going to wink at it for a while, but then after that the Most High are going to reject you. You understand, brother and sister? Because, you know, his true name, that's power in his true name. You see, brothers and sisters, there's power in his true name, and that name is Yahusha Mashiach. You see, brothers and sisters. So the word became flesh The Word became flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory, the glory as of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. John bore witness of him and cried out, saying, This was he of whom I said, He who comes after me is preferred before me, for he was before me. You see that? So he was before John. He was before Abraham. Why? Because he's Eliyahu, the son of Eliyahu. He's the beginning, the Alipha, and the Tav, or the Alipha, and the Omega, the beginning and the end. You see, brothers and sisters. He's the one that's going to be judging us, not the Father. The Father put all judgment in the hands of his Son, Yahushua. Yahushua Mashiach, brothers and sisters. Huh, brothers and sisters? So, brothers and sisters, as you can see in John, Solemn is therefore Yahushua himself. He does not only point the way to the Father, but he is the way. Through him who comes to the Father and receive the blessing and promise of Eliyahu. Huh, brothers and sisters? So, Solemn in John is therefore Yahushua himself. Yahushua is the ladder, brothers and sisters. He's the way, right? He's the door. You understand? He's the entrance, right? He is Solam, the ladder. Is there for Yahushua himself. He does only point the way. He does not only point the way to the Father, but he is the way. Through him, we come to the Father and receive the blessing and promise of Eliyahu. Yahushua is the way, the truth, and the light, brothers and sisters. Though he abide in me, yet shall I live. You see, brothers and sisters, he's the way. His true name is Yahushua. Yahushua Mashiach. Brothers and sisters? So we touch on Hebrew letters Samek, Lem, and Mem. We're going to look into that a little bit further, brothers and sisters, right? Okay, brothers and sisters, take a look at the screen. We're going to explain away the Hebrew word Samek. Right, Samek, right, brothers and sisters. So Samek is the 15th letter is on the screen, brothers and sisters. The letter Samek. Samek is the 15th letter in the Hebrew alphabet. Samek also written as Samek, S-A-M-E-C-H, Samek. Right, brothers and sisters, has the same sound as an S, as in Saw, Samek. Every line in Psalms, Tehillim 119. 113 and 120 start with the letter Samek. Salmek looks like what you see on the screen, brothers and sisters, right? Samek is the only letter in the Hebrew alphabet that is enclosed. It is a complete circle that portrays how Eliyahu completely surrounds and encompasses his people, like Jerusalem, surrounded by mountains, the real Jerusalem. Surrounded by mountains, brothers and sisters. We are upheld by the loving arms of the Father, Abuna, whose surrounding presence is like a hug. What have I to dread? What have I to fear? Leaning on everlasting arms, I have blessed peace with my Adonai so near, leaning on the everlasting arms. You remember that old folk song, brothers and sisters? I know you so-called Jamaicans know that song. Yeah, we sing that a lot. The circular nature of Eliyahu is on your screen. I illustrate an example, brothers and sisters, The circular nature of Eliyahu is evident all over creation. The sun and moon orbits the earth, brothers and sisters, because, we're on a flat surface, right? Tree trunks have concentric rings, and pebble thrown in water make circular ripples. Sand dollars, acorn cups, the center of a daisy, onion rings, slice across an orange, blueberry, and rabbit droppings, the cycle of season, the circle of life. And it's true, even with so-called black people. If you look at black people, right? especially our men and women in the stage of their hair growing, but men, right, so-called black men, you notice, right, we have a spiral in our hair. You ever notice that? That shows you that you're connected to the earth. The spiral notion stuff in the center of your hair go around and round and round, right, till it grows, it form an afro, and it start twist and turn by itself and become locks. You see what I mean? That's what we call a 9-ether spiral. You see the highest number. You see, brothers and sisters, take a look at the screen. You're going to see a illustration of the ripple effect, the spiral 9-ether motion, also found in black people's hair. You see, brothers and sisters? Some scholars also teach that the Salmak is a picture of a strong support propping us up so we can weather the storms of life. Uphold me, Psalms 119, 116. Hold me up, Psalms 119, 117. Yahusha is our Salmak, our great upholder. In him all things hold together. Colossians 1 and 17, brothers and sisters. Right? Okay, now we're going to go to the Hebrew letter alphabet Lamed. Or Lamed. Yeah, Lamed. So here on your screen, this is a chart of Lamed or Lamed. Right, the Hebrew letter. You see the Hebrew letter, right? It looks like a ladder. Right, brothers and sisters? It looks just like a ladder. Right? You have knots, van, roof, beel, crap, and the face. You see, brothers and sisters, and the phonetics, right? The phonetics of the letter or the alphabet or the word Lamed or Lamd is the 12th letter of the Hebrew alphabet is called Lam, pronounced Lamed, right? The same how I was saying Lamed or Lam, Lamed, right? And has the sound of I, as in look, Hamed, right? Hamed. I-A-H, Hamed. Right? Right, brothers and sisters? Huh? Hamed. In modern Hebrew, the letter Hamed can appear in 3 forms. As you see on the screen, a little graphic chart, book print, you see it, manual print, and you see the cursive. Huh? Brothers and sisters? Write the manual print version or block version or Hamed as follows. You see right there the manual print block. Right? Note that the first stroke extends above the line and inclines from left to right, brothers and sisters. As you can see illustrated right there, from left to right. Huh? Like a number 7. Huh, brothers and sisters? Huh? You see number 7, right? But it's not 7. Huh? That's Hamed. Huh? In the manual block form. Then they got Hebrew script cursive and the cursive version. You see the cursive version? You know, it looked like a unformed 8 or unformed S. Huh? Note that the stroke hooks to the right and ascends the line. From right, number 1 come all the way around. Huh, brothers and sisters? Practice. Write the letter. You can practice to write the letter. You know what I mean? Because that's a good way to learn how to write Hebrew and, you know, read it and practice it. So this is the summary. Name, book, block, cursive, pronounce, I as in look, translation, I or one, I. Brothers and sisters, listen to this explanation, right?
Lamed. This letter form has the sound of L as in look. Note that like many other Hebrew letters, a dot called the dagesh can appear in this letter form. However, it does not affect the letter's pronunciation. Grammatically, the dagesh or the dot doubles the consonantal value of the letter form in which it occurs.
Brothers and sisters? Advanced information, right? 30, gematria, photograph, Kitav Avri, Kitav Ashurut, and the book type. Brothers and sisters? The letter Hamed is the 12th letter of the alphabet, having a numeric value of 30. The photograph of Hamed looks like a shepherd's staff or goad, whereas the classical Hebrew script is constructed as kaf or kif, kaf, with the vav standing upon it. As you can see right here on your screen illustration, the vav and the kaf, right? Also similar to Saulam, the ladder, right? Saulam, the ladder, right? The uniqueness of Hamed, the letter Hamed is unique in the Hebrew alphabet since it is the tallest letter. It is the only letter that rises above the baseline, and as the 12th letter, it is considered the central letter of heart of the Hebrew alphabet. You can see the illustration on your screen, brothers and sisters, right? Since the Hamed towers over the other letters from the central position. Before we go on, brothers and sisters, I want to show you on the graph of the uniqueness of Hamed. You'll see on your left, you see the word mem, the letter mem. Brothers and sisters? And then on the right, you have Hamed. Right? Mem and Hamed. Right? Since Hamed towers over the other letters from its central position, it is said to represent Melech Hamelekim. Melech Hamelekim, King of Kings. This idea is supported by the idea that the preceding letter stands for Kisahi HaKavod. Right? Kisahi HaKavod, the throne of glory, and the following letter stands to Malkahut, kingdom. Malkahut, kingdom. The sages also point out that the three central letters can spell the word Melech, king. Right? The meaning of Hamed, the original meaning of Hamed probably was to prick, sting, incite, goad, as a shepherd might prod cattle to perform some action. Hence, the ancient photograph was that of a staff of goad representing authority. The Hebrew name of the letter itself, Hamed, comes from the root Hamad, meaning to learn or teach, which first occurs in Deuteronomy 4:1. Now, O Israel, Yasharal, that the first, and now, O Yasharal, listen to the statutes and the rules that I am teaching you. From this we can see that the first business of learning is Meshneh, Torah, the repetition or inculcation of the Torah. From this we can see that the first business of learning is Meshneh Torah, the repetition or inculcation of the Torah. Indeed, since Hamed is the tallest of the Hebrew letters, it draws our attention to the source of all learning, namely the Torah itself, Hamed, and the heart knowledge. Rabbi Akiva 50-135 is said to have noted that the spelling of Hamed can be seen as an acronym for the phrase Lev Mevin, that meaning a heart that understands knowledge. In other words, the goal of learning and teaching Hamed is heart knowledge. Moreover, since it is the only letter allowed to ascend above the other letters in the circuit writing, Hamed represents the prominence of learning and understanding the Yehuadin heart. Note, according to Yehuadin mysticism, the numerical value of the phrase Liv Mevin, that is the same as the phrase the heart of Eve, suggesting that the woman's heart is essential for a complete understanding of reality. the Gohad of Hamed. Learning in the Yuhadi tradition is not an end in itself, but should spur us on to action. For example, in Pekri Avyot 1:7, it is written, study not the ultimate goal, rather the deeds. Likewise, in Perki Avyot 4-6, the Jewish sages write, Rabbi Ismail bar Rabbi Yossi said, one who studies Torah in order to teach is given the means to study and to teach. And one who studies Torah in order to do is given the means to study and to teach and to guard and to do. In other words, a true Talmud study or learner is not one who is entirely bookish and without deeds of righteousness that accompany his or her learning. This is echoed in the famous words of Simon the Just, who said that the world stands upon three things: upon Torah, upon the worship, and upon loving deeds. Upon three things the world does stand: upon the Torah, upon the worship, upon the acts of loving kindness. In light of this, we can see how the word Ahmed is connected with Malmad, or a gohad or spur to action. Like a wise shepherd, learning will both spur us on to good deeds and control our animal instincts. Gematria of Hamed. Gematria of Hamed. The letter Hamed itself represents the number 30, but it is constituent parts Vav and Kav yield the number 26, which is the number of Yod Haviha. Since Hamed is central and rise above all the other letters, it presents Yod Haviha, or the King of Kings, YHVH. Moreover, the number 30 is the same value as Yehuda, indicating or connecting between learning, YHVH, the tetragrammy, and the tribe of Yehuda. Prefexive Hamed. Prefexive Hamed. When Hamed appears as a prefix to a word in Hebrew, it often denotes the grammatical object, which we translate with to or for. For example, Melka means king, and Melka means to a king or for a king. In other words, Hamed designates the direction of a goal of action, as well as the goad of the action, of that action. Learning Talmud is then means to an end. Learning Talmud is then a means to an end, not the end itself, but what is the end to which it leads. It is not the love of the Adonai himself and his salvation. It is not a relationship with the Yahuwah, Eliyahu of Israel. The final goal of Talmud Torah, as Yahusha himself said, you search the scripture Torah because you think that in them you have eternal life, but it is they that bear witness of me. You can see that in John 5:3-9. In other words, studying and learning Torah is meant to ultimately reveal the love and grace of the Mashiach Yahusha, the true teacher and King of Kings. You see that, brothers and sisters? Right? Special tag of Hamed. In Bereshit 27:30, there is an unusual tag added to the normal Hamed. You can see that on your screen. This read, as soon as Isaac finished blessing Yacov, the flourish on the Hamed occurs in the word Kila. The sage suggests that this extra embellishment on the Hamed points to the blessing that Eliyahu had just given to Yacov, as it is word descending upon him from heaven. Lamed Israel, Hamed Israel, and Am Sugla. The word Yisrael begins with the smallest letter Yod and ends with the largest letter Hamed, suggesting Israel dependence upon Yahweh. In fact, in Exodus Shemot 19:5, the scribes write a deliberately oversized Hamed and are deliberately undersized yod right next to one another. This reads, "And you shall be to me a treasure among all the peoples." The sage teach that Israel is Segula, a treasured people, when they keep the covenant of the Adonai by acknowledging his greatness and Israel's smallness, that is Eliyahu in the great Hamed teacher, King of Kings, whereas Israel, Yasharael, is the small Yod, the small hand extended upward to heaven, praise and in worship, when the relations between the Adonai and us is like this, and we too will be treasured possession of Yahuwah. Hallelujah. Oversized Hamed in Deuteronomy 29:28. There is an oversized Hamed. This read, "And he cast them into another land." The Huadin sages note that this oversized Hamed suggests that Israel ejection from the land and the subsequent diaspora would be used by Yahuwah to greatly teach them as a people about the greatness of Yahuwah, and in these last days we as people about the greatness of Yahuwah, and in these last days we behold the manifold wisdom of Yahuwah as he gathers Israel back to the land of promise in anticipation of his soon coming as Yisrael's true King of Kings, brothers and sisters. Right? Okay, brothers and sisters, we're gonna touch on Mem now. So we just explained Salmek. We just finished Hamed. Now we're going to Mem. And all these Hebrew alphabet you can find in Psalms 119, brothers and sisters. Right? Here on your screen, you'll see our ancient Hebrew alphabet writing. That's how our ancient Hebrew alphabet writing looks like, brothers and sisters. Huh, brothers and sisters? And then you see, as you can see, brothers and sisters, you again on the screen, you will see the ancient Hebrew alphabet, right? And just underneath it, you see early Hebrew, right? The early Hebrew writing, you got the middle Hebrew writing, you got the late Hebrew writing, and then you got the modern Hebrew writing of Mem. You see that, brothers and sisters? So the modern Hebrew writing of Mem is on the far right. And the late Hebrew right next to it, and the middle Hebrew and the early Hebrew. You see ancient name Mem, Maim, Ma. Photograph water, the early Hebrew, meaning chaos, mighty, blood. The sound M, Mem. History and reconstruction. The early Shemitic pictograph for this letter is Mem, a picture of waves of water. This pictograph has the meaning of liquid water and sea, mighty and massive from the size of the sea, and chaos from the storms of the sea. The modern Hebrew name for this letter is Mem, probably from the word Ma'im, meaning water. The word Ma'im is the plural form of Ma, probably the original name of this letter, meaning what. To the Hebrews, the sea was a feared and unknown place. For this reason, this letter is used as a question word: who, what, when, where, why, and how, in the sense of searching for an unknown. The Greek name for this letter is Mao, which is a Hebrew word closely related in roots and meaning to the Hebrew word Ma. The sound for this letter is M, as it is in all other languages. It's funny, right? In our ebonics of speaking to each other, especially in the black community, well, what are the words we call our mother? We say Ma, right? And not knowing that we speak in Hebrew. Just like in Jamaica, we say Ma or Mama. our mother, Ma. Hmm? The Most High is giving us clues of who we are by the way we speak at times. Huh? Yes, still we can't pick it up because we are disconnected from the spiritual realm, which is Yahusha. Yahusha Mashiach, brothers and sisters. Hmm? Hmm? The early Semitic evolved into the Middle Semitic and continued to evolve into. So the early Semitic, brothers and sisters, is the Hebrew, the early Hebrew, which has the the illustration of water, evolve into the Semitic, right, and continue to evolve into the late Hebrew, Semitic script, and late Semitic script evolve into what? The modern Hebrew Semitic script. And final mem. In the modern Hebrew script, the early and middle Semitic script is origin to the Greek and Roman M. I could see that chart on the screen right now, brothers and sisters. Right? Take a moment to look at it. It's all on your screen. Huh? You see the Egyptian from 2000. Canaanite, the same. Huh? And then you see 1500, same. You got 1000, same. Huh? Hebrew, Phoenicians, Aramaic. And you see Aramaic is similar too, right? Huh? Similar, right, brothers and sisters? You got the Greek. Huh? Arabian. Huh? Then you got Punic, Latin, Samaritan, and Arabic. All are similar. Huh, brothers and sisters? They got ancient. You got to see again the watermark M. Canaanite, the same M. Egyptian, we just went over that too, right? So the Hebrew letter that every verse in this section, Psalms 119, 97, and 104 starts with is called Mem. And it carries the meaning of water, brothers and sisters, right? So Mem, as you see at the image on the screen, Mem, the 13th letter of the Hebrew alphabet, is called Mem and has the sound of M as in mom or ma or mama or mother. Note that there is a gap at the bottom left of the letter, brothers and sisters. So I hope you understand fully of Yacov'S Saulam or Yacov'S ladder. I hope you can take away something from this, brothers and sisters. Get to broaden your understanding. So on that note, Bruk Yahuwah Tizivaho, Bruk Yahushua Mashiach, Shana, Vishna, blessed love and shalom.